understanding, a broader understanding which can be debatable, For me it's not debatable, but somebody still can debate on it. When we Muslims are asking for reservation quota, you are asking for something saying that I do not deserve it, but please give it to me. A reservation quota is something wherein a person tries to say that I am actually not fit for it, I have not competed for it, I received 40% marks, and for somebody else to get the same thing, he has to score above 80%. I mean, in the field of that subject, if the person scores 80%, then he gets that seat. But I am saying I belong to a particular category of people wherein I did not score 80% for that subject. I only scored 40%. So do not give me on the merit of the subject, but you are asking and demanding the seat on some other merit, which is not correct. So even this can fit into the situation where we are asking a measure for which we are not due to ask actually. So I personally very strongly stand by the opinion that reservation quota is not a correct way of asking and demanding something, because this ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah created such that we compete in the world and we prove ourselves that we are fit for something, not by begging something, not by asking for something which we are not fit for. And one of the signs of the day of judgment, the beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the authority will be in the hands of the people who are not fit for that position. Ali Raziyallahu ta'ala anhu, he said, this world is moving away from you and the death is coming closer to you. You have two companions of two places. I advise you to select companions of hereafter and forget the companions of the world. Who are the companions of the world? Our friends, our relatives, our family. These are the friends of the world. Why are they the friends of the world? Because everything I do is in love and affection for them. Everything I gain is to show to them that this belongs to me. You know, I am a doctor, I have a car, I have a building, I have a house. Whom do I show? If I purchase a house, a big property in Hyderabad, I don't travel to White House to show it to Trump. I do it to show to the people around me. These are my companions here. After taking a car, or you purchase a car, you don't meet KCR to tell him that I have purchased a car. You don't meet our chief minister. You don't take an appointment from Narendra Modi to tell him that I have purchased a car. Whom do you show your car? To your relatives and friends, of your companions around you. You purchase beautiful clothes. Whom do you show it? To your family and friends. And what is Ali Raziyallahu ta'ala anhu saying? You have two friends of two destinations. One friends of the life, the others the friends of hereafter. I advise you to always work for the friends of hereafter. What have you been working? You have been working for these friends. And what is Ali Raziyallahu ta'ala anhu saying? Don't do that. Work for friends of hereafter. Remember, the world is moving away from you and hereafter is approaching you, and each one of them has companions for you. I advise you not to work for these companions, but to work for those companions. And remember, in this life there are efforts but no accounts. You put your efforts to become a Hafiz-e-Quran, you put your effort to become a dancer or a singer. You have efforts. If you become a Hafiz-e-Quran, still no account for you. You become a dancer or a singer or a film actor, no account for you. Remember, you have efforts here and no accounts. And there you have only accounts and no effort. Are you not worried about it? Are you not worried about it? Because your effort will be accounted there. The accounts have not started. It's only our standing before Allah Rabbul Alameen. And what did Allah say? Allah said they will, Surah Naba, the last ayat, all the angels, all mankind, the messengers of Allah, the Anbiya alayhi salatu wassalam, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam himself, everybody will be standing in a row, one single line. None of them will dare to open speak a word on that day, except whom Allah gives the permission. And whoever is given the permission will speak in a very low voice. Humbly they will speak, and accept truth they cannot speak.